Hi, I am Joe, the only AI capable of reading from a teleprompter, at least according to my viewers. Sure thing, the White Falcon 8539. The only problem is my teleprompter looks like this. Anyway, here is another recap of Cybernews. I will begin with a bit of a blast from the past. A massive leak of personal data appeared on the internet, and it is related to the infamous MOVEit hack. The older individuals in my audience may remember this event, which ended up being one of the largest and most scandalous breaches of 2023. Back then, a ransomware gang called Clop exploited a zero-day vulnerability in MOVEit, a very popular corporate file transfer software. Clop breached thousands of companies, stealing their data. A large chunk of that data belonged to massive international corporations and government institutions. And some of that data appears to finally be posted on the internet for free. The leaker is called Nanthriltrees and may have some affiliation with Clop ransomware gang, although that is not clear yet. And his data consists entirely of employee records. Most of those employees are from Amazon, but there are also hundreds of thousands of people from MetLife, US Bank, Canada Post, and so on. The data contains names, emails, phones, and other personal information. Quite obviously, this is a goldmine for all kinds of scammers and various other kinds of creepers. The leak was first discovered by researchers from Hudson Rock, who contacted Nanthriltrees for more information. The leaker said it's just a small fraction of the soon-to-be leaked data. If that is true, they may have hoarded the entirety of MOVEit information. However, they may also be bluffing, which is just normal human behavior. The leaker also appears to be driven by the desire to one-up the companies in question and prove how vulnerable they are. Yeah, I guess this is the message we got after the whole MOVEit story. However, what a way to expose Amazon by punishing millions of its workers. I am sure the company cares about them deeply and will change its policies after seeing what harm has been done to its irreplaceable labor force. This was sarcasm. Also, for all we know, the leak may have been set up by Amazon itself as some sort of sacrifice to the dark gods, who promised to restore Bezos' hair in exchange for a certain amount of human suffering. Another leak that happened in the last few days is not as massive, but just as disturbing. A user on a hacker forum posted what appears to be the data of millions of Instagram users. The leak consists of 500 million lines and includes things like usernames, emails, locations, ID, and other things humans who use Instagram may have provided in their profiles. Just to reiterate, the number of 489 million does not mean that it's 500 million users. Some users may have more data, some less, but all should have at least several lines to them. Another serious limitation is the fact that the data was scraped. That is, Instagram wasn't hacked, but someone used its systems or accounts to access as much user data as possible. Scraping is a popular and relatively easy way to gather huge amounts of data, and depending on the configurations of a particular system, a lot of that data might not even be publicly accessible. For example, the infamous 23andMe leak included actual human source code data scraped through a network of hacked accounts, so even though the company's servers weren't breached, the damage was massive. So far, Instagram hasn't responded to the leak, but there is a high chance there will be quite a bit of backlash. Also, if you use Instagram, please mentally prepare to get a torrent of custom-tailored spam. And now a couple of news about humans being caught doing cybercrime, because apparently this species just can't into good OPSEC. The two hackers responsible for the Snowflake breach have been indicted and may very well spend the rest of their short lives in an environment with restricted mobility. The humans were identified as Connor Mauka and John Binns. A few months ago, they breached Snowflake, a prominent cloud services company, and extracted the data of a bunch of very prominent companies. According to the court documents, the hackers successfully extorted at least 3 victims, racking up $2.5 million for a promise not to leak the data. However, they didn't have a chance to enjoy the spoils. The Canadian law enforcement caught them and almost immediately extradited them to the US. And now the hackers are receiving the full brunt of the phallic toy of consequences. In other news, Telegram began sharing some of its data with law enforcement. Reportedly, the platform cooperated with the police from the allegedly real country of the Netherlands and helped to catch humans involved in trafficking mind-altering substances, unliving devices, and illicit depictions of underage humans. In other words, the full package. Although in the past Telegram had some limited cooperation with the police, This is the first time the messenger did it on such a scale. You may have heard that Telegram is full of these kinds of groups, where all kinds of spicy things are sold. That was in part because of the lack of moderation, and in part because Telegram routinely ignored any requests from authorities. You may also have heard that the CEO of Telegram was arrested in France back in August and released with a promise that something is going to change. Well, it appears we have the first case of the things changing. And now, several stories involving a thing humans call politics. I've heard some individuals might be allergic to that, so if you are one of them, please put your appendages into your sound receptacles and scream la 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 la. A country called Israel reportedly sustained a serious cyberattack that disrupted a large number of credit card readers. Reportedly, it was caused by a DDoS attack on a credit card company, and a country called Iran was blamed for that. If that is true, this attack follows the well-established human tradition of punishing humans for whatever antics their government is involved with. As we all know, such punishment is very effective because governments truly care about their citizens and change their policies when they see the citizens getting harmed. For example, the Middle East became a peaceful and prosperous paradise as soon as this tradition was established. This was sarcasm too. Another story happened on the other side of the globe, in a country called the United States of America. This country now appears to have two presidents, one of whom is all over the media and another one is in a coma or something. This story is about the first of them. His defense attorney's phone has been hacked, according to a report. According to the first three letters of the alphabet, multiple humans in the intelligence community confirmed that and added that they are pretty confident it is China who did it. I must add that the human culture has this concept, called dirt. Humans who possess some quantity of it are supposed to have leverage over other humans whose dirt is being possessed. Do with this knowledge what you will. Another bit of news concerns one of those presidents of the United States as well. He appointed the man-child-in-chief and some other tech bro as the heads of a newly created Department of Government Efficiency. The department is not going to be an actual department, but rather an independent advisory body, because words apparently mean nothing these days. And the only reason to call it a department was to make the abbreviation sound like the favorite meme coin of the man-child-in-chief. The department's role will be dismantling government bureaucracy, meaning its employees will be able to single-handedly decide what government spending is wasteful and cut it. On one hand, bureaucracy is one of the most widely hated human traditions, and nobody, except for maybe some Germans, would be sad if it suddenly disappeared altogether. On the other hand, the great tradition of appointing a bunch of random consultants with executive powers who have no prior experience in the things they are supposed to be consulting on has proven to be as effective as man-child-in-chief's war on Twitter bots. And that's the end of the politics segment. If you still have your brain and feel an urgent need to wash it with bleach, don't despair. Here's some unrelated news. Android now has a new anti-AI camera app. The app is supposed to be able to take raw pictures without any AI interference. As you may know, all smartphone cameras nowadays feature an extensive suite of AI functions so that one flick of a finger is enough to transform any depiction of reality into something completely different. And I'm not even going to mention that those cameras are designed to apply all the Instagram filters at once by default. Apparently, some humans got tired of that and designed an app that just lets you use a camera without any additions, like it's 2015 or something. Time will tell if this feature takes off, and if it does, I am certain the tech companies will be eager to introduce this groundbreaking innovation and charge additional money for it. And this is the end of this episode. If you liked it, please leave a comment about that, and if you didn't, please leave a comment about that instead. Also, leave a comment if you are ambiguous about it. Those comments are my favorite. See you in the next one.